Welcome back to Age of Strife, everybody. So, players, you have gathered your things, you've bought your supplies, you are headed out the north gate of town and into the stinking marsh.
I probably actually missed the gate with my low perception, so I just smack into the wall.
Taran, just by the way, I've given you like 30 pounds of things to carry for me, so.
30 pounds of things to carry for you. Okay.
Yeah, you know, bedroll, blanket, a bunch of rations and water skins. It's actually 22 pounds.
We didn't specify, but I did like gear up and everything, obviously. Chainmail on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went and picked up all my equipment that's on my shift sheet. Just the crossbow, bolts, sword, dagger,
So
backpack with a lockpicking kit, and now I've got a water skin. It's everything.
Neil, how well would a donkey go traveling through the swamps? I'm just thinking if we're fully encumbered, even if we pick up treasure, then we're going to be in trouble.
That's a good point. Donkey would be able to traverse the swamp fairly well. Basically at the same rate that you would.
All right, so just before we head off, can we quickly purchase a donkey then and saddlebags, and then we can get a little bit more unencumbered as well?
Yeah, your donkey is going to cost 8 gold, and pack saddles will cost 5 gold.
Can we take that out of the group funds?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Does our donkey have a name?
You get to name it. Someone keep track of the donkey. Who's going to keep track of the donkey?
I'll keep track of the donkey.
All right.
Do you want to name it?
Yeah, cool. Let's name it Saddlebags.
That sounds good to me.
Somebody please roll 3d8 for the donkey's life.
Jeff, it's your donkey.
All right, I shall do it.
Nice.
13 HP. Okay. The donkey has an armor class of 13.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Has an armor class of 13. Has a movement rate of 12. Has 6 morale. You don't need to keep track of, but just letting you know that it's not very good. Average is like 10 or 11. So 6 is pretty atrocious. It's unreliable.
That's okay. I'll lead it. I have animal handling. I have animal training, and I also have a whole heap of strength.
does my bardic playing that affects someone's morale affect a donkey?
No. I mean, I know music soothes the savage beast and all, but no. The donkey is not uplifted by your playing.
Maybe an even more important question about the donkey. Is our donkey secretly our father, but was accidentally polymorphed, Neil?
Well, your father's dead. You buried him, so no.
Okay.
But nice try. So, you guys are heading out into the swamps.
Yep.
The first section of swamp, you see various humans out there kind of walking around with their high boots that come up to their knees, and their little spears to stab whatever they can find, and the little baskets and bags that they carry around with them. These are the muck dwellers of town. It is considered one of the lower jobs. It can be mildly profitable for commoners, but you gotta be walking around in the swamps all the time. These people often have weird foot fungus diseases. They smell bad. They've got nasty teeth. They hang out together in clumps. The muck people are they're like the lowest of the low. They're not really the sort of people anyone likes to associate with. But you see them just outside the town gates. Well, not just outside, but on the other side of the town gates in that first mile or so of swamp. Where are you guys headed? Swamp is big.
Well, I think we do know where they tend to be, which is the middle and eastern side of the swamp. So I guess we're heading towards the middle.
Do you want to use like the ruler or draw an arrow so I
Well,
know the question of where you're headed?
If we know that they're in the middle and eastern, then it might be best to head along the southern edge of the swamps until we get
like
to the forest. Yeah, and then head in from there.
Maybe we could avoid a lot of the slow movement, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I think that sounds good.
Okay. So let's roll some dice, shall we?
Oh boy.
Dragon first encounter.
I was reading about those, like little black dragons or something ridiculous. That'd be scary.
Little black dragons? What are you talking
Mutated black dragons.
Is that in the
better
lore?
not find one.
This could be a very short series.
In the lore somewhere? Mutated black dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it totally is. Okay.
They fight as an age class 2 black dragon.
Maybe that should not have been in there. That's probably not a note that was supposed to be public.
You know, that's a good point. I don't know why I would know that.
Yeah, why don't we just hide that note? That's interesting. It's one of those things that should have that document was not originally intended for player consumption. Then at some point, I'm like, oh, let's just give it to them all. And I guess I missed a couple of DM only notes.
That's right. We can check it with you before. I'm guessing the amount of goblins that are in there, and their makeup, etc. Although I guess we could have spoken to Danny and Henry beforehand and got a little bit of information.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you guys are heading out along the edge of the swamp. You get a good distance in the first half of your day. You move roughly like 20 miles a day through this area south of the swamp before you get to like Thornwatch Keep. But since you're on the edge of the swamp, keeping a good eye on it, you can probably go like 18 in a day. So the first half of the day brings you to about here. When you stop for lunch, or just afternoon lunch.
Okay.
Do we stop anywhere near the muck people?
No, the muck people are only the first mile or two. You guys are about 8 miles out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see it. At the very edge of the horizon, you can see the River Grove, that land that is supposed to be where the centaurs live. And but you can't quite see that somewhere to the southwest is Thornwatch Keep, built on a hill, and it's a tower sticking up. It's somewhere out there, but it's too hazy to see it. The weather is hot and dry, even though some of you are quite laden down with heavy gear, wearing chainmail or plate mail. It's dry enough out here that the sweat just evaporates off your body before it can condense into anything. It's been a rough summer, a hot summer, and even this close to the swamp, it's uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Anything that you guys want to do while you break for lunch? Any new thoughts? Any new change of direction?
Yeah, I just want to, brothers, sister, uncle, perhaps we should, instead of just beeline, perhaps we should explore the areas. There may be places of interest which might hold some gold along the way. Perhaps we should take some time to explore this land as we go through.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm not quite sure what you're suggesting, but we do have very little time, so...
Oh, well, I mean, the time's not an issue. We're on an expedition which will last 3 days. It doesn't matter if we cover 200 miles or 30 miles, but we need to perhaps find sources of gold. So if we can find anything interesting, then that would be good. Unless you want to spend all the 90% of the time in the marshes, Uncle.
We just need to remember our priorities. We need to be back there in 6 days with the money, or equivalent.
And so if we just walk through, we may not find anything. We need to find places where the gold rests. So we need to be exploring rather than just traveling. Is what I'm suggesting.
Where are you going to explore?
Oh, we're going to keep on heading in that same direction, but perhaps not make 20 miles in a day, but maybe make 10 miles in a day or 8 miles in a day. Is my suggestion. What does everyone think?
Yeah, we spend some time looking around and other little animals, signs of life. We can, stop and watch them for a bit to see what's going on in the swamp.
I feel that we should just go straight for the goblins, but...
Yeah, but we don't know where they are. We don't know where their lair is. We don't know where the gold is. So we just know
have a
there's
general idea. And once we find them, they'll try to go back to their camp, whatever they have.
True. Yep. I mean, are you thinking that there's no chance of wealth along the southern border of the marsh?
I'm sure there is, but there's also chances of very nasty creatures, more nasty than goblins.
As everyone is talking, I open up to the back page of my journal and I begin working on an engineering plan I have, but we can get to that later.
Okay. So,
all right. In that case, we shall continue on until we get to the Stinky Marsh and then begin our exploration.
all right, so you guys are continuing on through the marsh, along the border of the marsh, trying to get good ways along it before you start heading into it. 4 hours later, it's getting into late afternoon, when I would like all of you to make me perception checks.
Okay.
Perception again.
Can you guys all make me perception checks at +2?
Oh.
Why the
+7? Oh dear. Oh dear.
Please.
Oh,
No.
oh.
Paw.
That's it, TPK.
Right.
Yeah, we lost.
It's
All right.
okay.
So you guys are walking along the edge of the marsh, looking in, looking out. The sun is beginning to not quite set over the Blackthorn Forest, but it's getting lower in the sky now. When there is this kind of low whistling sound that perks your ears, followed by a kind of a thud or a splat. And at first you're a little bit confused by it, but then you see let's take a look. Torin, what is your armor class?
Without the shield, will be 17.
Is that no shield, no dex, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. A rock comes flying through the air and whaps Torin where is my weapon table? Whaps Torin for D4 points of damage.
Oh, crap.
Or 3 points of damage. It's just kind of, the first one whistled past you guys, the second one goes and just hits you in the side of the head, Torin. And
I scream out in pain.
Yeah. You guys now, having heard a couple of these whistling rocks come by, turn your eyes out to the swamp, and you see these shadowy figures kind of crouched down, spinning slings around. It looks like a small group of goblins.
Okay.
So let's get initiative rolls.
Are we doing individual?
Yes.
It's so slow. Why is the crossbow so slow?
Because you gotta load it and then bring it back, and kind of you only got the one shot before you have to reload it, so you gotta be careful.
How far away are they?
That's a good question. They are 50 yards into the swamp. So
Okay.
150 feet.
Sorry, how?
10, right, Neil?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Initiative's a D10 plus weapon speed.
Yes, sir.
Can I reach them in the round if I go charging at them?
Your movement rate is a third. If you charge, you get 150%. You go 120 yards. You're not encumbered, right?
No.
So 120 yards becomes 180 yards divided by 3 is 60 yards. Yes, you can move 60 yards.
Right. Okay.
Bradley, what weapon are you using?
The crossbow.
Now, the one thing is, if you charge, you've got to run through the swamp, and I'm gonna make you make a dex check to make sure you don't lose your footing and all the slippery stuff and logs sticking out everywhere.
All right. In that case, Neil, is it just +3? I'm just gonna take the mule and try and use it as a shield and get a little bit closer.
All right, so you're gonna like walk the mule into the swamp, hiding behind it.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. So slowly, not trying to engage.
Okay.
I have the crossbow at speed 7. Were you both using light crossbows, right, Bradley?
Light crossbow's speed 8.
Okay, I'll change that now. And there we go.
Okay. Did you all roll
In my
initiatives?
Yeah.
Yeah. In my range is, because short bow range is 35, 70, 120 yards. Is 70 where medium range starts?
Yes.
Or where it ends? Okay.
No, where it ends.
Okay.
All right. So, does anyone beat a? Does anyone beat a 13?
Yeah, I'm at 10.
All right.
Yes, I do.
That's 7.
All right, 7. I think is the lowest number that I heard.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick.
Okay. I take a half move backwards away from the goblins to 69 yards away, if I can do that.
Yeah.
And I fire my short bow.
All right. You're at medium range. That's a -2 to hit.
Okay. I think that's just a flat d20 then. Yeah. Nice.
Ah,
Very
beautiful.
nice.
Okay.
Okay.
D6 plus 2 damage. 5.
Very nice.
Nice shot. Your arrow sinks into the goblin, who gives out this wild shriek as it like drops its rock and fumbles in the muck to pick it back up again. Who is next?
Let's see.
Benjamin.
I'm at 10.
10? That is, go for it, Benjamin.
Okay, so I would like to shoot at one of the goblins. Crossbow. I'm at a flat d20. You said they were within 60 yards.
Yeah, they're
All right, yeah.
50 yards out.
So shoot, and
That is
hit,
a 15. That is a hit.
Nice.
and the damage is 1d6. 4 points of damage.
All right, you hit a goblin square in the chest. It topples backwards with a.
And
makes a
I would
splash.
like to use my half movement to move away and make sure to look down. Maybe if there's something to hide behind.
It's pretty open terrain out here, but you can, if you crouch low to the ground, you might be able to get a little cover.
A little bit of a cover. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Does anyone else beat a 13?
Me, but I'm just taking the mule and walking slowly forward, using it as full cover.
Okay. One of the goblins, one of the non-dead goblins, swings his sling, aiming for Torin still. 18, but you have mule cover, right?
Yes.
You're hiding behind the mule. Which,
He also has 19 AC, so
No, 17 without the shield.
you don't have your shield out? Okay.
Well, I don't know. Can I have the shield while leading the mule?
yeah, it takes a full round to equip the shield, so that could have been your action this turn.
Okay, yeah.
But you were
Okay.
50% hidden behind the mule, so that becomes a 14, which still misses the mule and would hit you. So it pings off of your armor, glancing to the side. Does anyone have a 14 or lower? Nope. All right.
I'm at 15.
You're at 15. All right. Next goblin slings once again at Torin and hits the mule instead. Your mule takes 2 points of damage,
Oh, the
And-
saddlebags.
and he needs to make a morale check because the mule is not meant for combat. He's not ready to take blows.
Oh, Lord.
Your mule
does he-
freaks out, having been like hit in the side by this heavy rock. Maybe breaking the skin, bruising a rib or something, and the mule just starts bolting through the swamp.
Can it bolt? I'm holding it.
All right, give me an
And,
opposed strength check to see if you can hold the mule back.
do I get any bonuses for having animal handling and animal training?
No, because it's a panicked animal right now. You're just physically trying to restrain it. You're not trying to
Okay. Now I have 18.
just add a plus 18. Yeah,
18.
It's,
Okay.
it's a broken system.
Hmm.
Nice. But not nice enough. The mule overpowers you, rips its leash from your hands, and just starts tromping through the swamp. 14. The other goblin, the last goblin, spins his sling, tosses it right at you, Torin, and it clanks off of your armor again. Bradley.
Okay, so you said that it's a pretty open environment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to drop back to 60 feet, and then I'm going to shoot at the same goblin that Uncle Radric had hit. And I'm also going to try and Radric and Benjamin are kind of backed up in range combat as well. I'm going to try and position myself in a spot away from them so we're not all gathered up.
Sure. Are you said 60 feet or 60 yards?
The 60 yards, my bad.
Okay, cool. And you're using a short bow or a crossbow?
Crossbow.
All right. That is short range. Go ahead and make a roll to hit. That is a hit. It lands right against the goblin, who seems to be totally unaffected by it.
I'm then going to get down low to assume whatever additional cover I can get.
The three goblins who did not die this round all start pulling back, having seen their first guy go down, a couple of blows bouncing off of Jeff's heavy armor, or I should say Torin's heavy armor. These three goblins turn and start making for freedom and safety. Let's get initiative rolls.
Okay.
Neil, so am I still in range to charge him?
If you charge them, yeah, but again, you're gonna have to make a dex check if you want to charge. If you beat their initiative, you can probably get to them just by walking. But if they beat your initiative, you'll have to do a full charge.
Now, if I'm moving and then longsword, do I add +3 and my weapon speed?
No, just the weapon speed.
Right, okay.
12, 18, 15, and 14. Dear God. All right, the goblins all go first. They all beat your initiatives as they turn and run through the swamp as fast as their little goblin legs will carry them. Now, they do move at 1/3 movement rate, but they are moving as quickly as possible away. Let's make some dex checks to make sure they don't slip in the mud. Pass. One of the goblins, as it's running from you, gets caught up on something and face plants in the muck with a big splash. The other two make pretty good time through the swamp, considering that they're so small and so slow. Who's first? I see a 12.
Yeah, I'd take a half move forward and shoot at one of the ones that's still on its feet.
Okay. So he moved another 40 yards away from you.
Okay.
So that would put you at 100 yards from the goblin. You can take a half move to the edge of the swamp and still shoot. That's fine.
Okay, so long range?
Mm-hmm.
Medium.
You were at medium before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still medium.
Okay. Nope.
Nope. You actually get +2 for back
Oh, I
attack.
get back
so
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that brings it to a 10. It sticks in the goblins what you can now see as armor, now that they're not crouching so low and that they're straight running.
Okay.
Next player. Jeff? Torin.
Yeah. All right. So I can get the one that's downed. I probably can't reach the ones that ran away.
Right, but you can get to the one that's downed.
Okay. I shall get to the one that's down
All
and
right.
hack it in.
Oh, he's trying to get himself up out of the muck. He's clearly, his leg is caught on some sort of log, and he's trying to wedge himself free as you come over.
Can I be shouting as this is happening
Yeah.
to Torin?
Yeah.
Torin, keep him prisoner.
Keep him prisoner. Okay. All right. So to achieve that, I think it's a silly idea, but anyway. So D20 +3. How much? Because they're
Oh, because he's prone. Yeah. He is prone, and you're using a melee attack, so that's +4 to hit. If you want to do non-lethal damage, it's a
Yep.
called shot, so it would be -4.
Okay. So +3 in total then.
Yeah.
Nope. Now, do I get my second attack or at the end of the round?
It's 3 attacks every 2 rounds. So 1 attack now, 2 attacks next round.
Right. Okay. Sorry. The first round I didn't attack. So is this the second round?
No, it only counts the rounds that you actually attack with your sword.
Right. Okay.
Next up is Jonathan.
Yes. So how many are still running? Is it 2?
2 of them are still running. They are
And
100 yards from your position.
and when I look at them, how do they appear? Does one appear to be geared up better than the other, or are they relatively the same?
They're relatively the same.
Okay. I'm going to move up as much as I can and shoot my crossbow at them.
Yeah, you can make a 40-yard move and still shoot. Yeah.
It'll be +2 for back attack, correct?
Yep. 15 is a hit. Five damage drops the goblin to its grave. And Amy, last but not least.
Okay, so on the floor, I load up my crossbow and I stand to my feet. And you said from Jonathan's position, they were 100 yards away, and I moved back a bit.
Right.
So,
So you are going to be at medium range this round.
all right, yeah, I'm gonna just take the shot. No movement.
Okay.
So it's -2.
But then +2 for back attack, so it's a wash.
Yeah, so just D20. There we go.
Nice. You strike the goblin in the back.
And 3 points of damage.
All right, the goblin drops to its watery grave as well, leaving just the one that Torin is standing over. Torin, why don't you make an initiative roll? The rest of the party can act if you want. The donkey is running through the swamp as fast as its little donkey legs will carry it, which is not that fast in a swamp. And it
I
passes
yell,
its check.
he can lead us back to the treasure. Don't kill him.
All right, Jeff, you go first. You beat the
All right,
goblin's
so-
initiative.
Okay. So same attack. I'm doing non-lethal.
There you go. Actually, you critical the goblin. Roll me double damage. 2d8 plus 5. If you non-lethal it all the way to -10, it still dies. Alright, so you hit the goblin with the flat of your
my
sword
God.
and break its skull open accidentally.
Torin, you're too strong. Stop it.
Torin, that was amazing.
Right. Things calm down. There are goblin bodies scattered throughout the swamp now in various locations. The donkey took off, but you see it slowing down in the distance, maybe a quarter mile away now.
All right. I'm gonna go chasing after the donkey while yelling out to Uncle. I'm sorry, Uncle. They're just so fragile. They break so easily. Yeah, so I'm going to try and retrieve the donkey and grab the lead and trying to coax it back.
Okay. You do catch up with the donkey eventually. We'll get to that in a moment. Well, the rest of you guys, what are you doing?
I look around and assess the environment to see if I can see any like logical reason why these goblins were out here. Kind of get a feel for what they were doing, maybe if possible. So maybe a perception check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna load my crossbow again and run up to the goblins that were shot.
Let's see. All right, Bradley. So you're looking around, trying to figure out what these goblins were up to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 on my perception check.
You notice that these guys are fairly lightly armed. There's not, they don't have much on them. They've just got this leather armor and these slings. You see some crude knives made out of stone tied to little bits of wood. They look like groups of hunters. One of them has a bag that you start digging through, and you come across some like weird things. Like there's a slug that's about this big, like a big fat banana slug, in one of their bags. The others have some weird plants or things that grow in the swamp, like swamp kelp. One of them has a pair of snakes that are dead in their bags. It looks like they're probably some sort of hunter-gatherer group that's out here finding food or whatever. Yeah. Raderick, what were you doing?
I guess I just keep my bow at the ready with an arrow in my other hand, and I just kind of slowly follow Torin into the swamp after the donkey,
Okay.
trying to
Amy?
cover him, make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, I've run up to the goblins and look at the wounds on them and exclaim out, "Brother, look how good we shot them! Look at that! See, we're not green. We're anything but green."
My head. Oh.
I think Jonathan, you're near the goblins, aren't you?
Yeah.
How'd you react?
I don't really say much. I've been quiet the whole time we've been outside of the city. I seem more kind of concerned with kind of the whole environment around us and what you're saying.
Yeah. Do the goblins look like they're carrying anything worth taking?
No, you rifle through their bags. It's, banana slugs and snakes and swamp kelp and
They have snakes on them.
dead snakes. Yeah.
I'll take the snakes.
All right, you have a pair of snakes.
How much are they? Like a pound each, the little snakes?
Sure, yeah, a pound
Okay.
each.
Take one of their like crude knives.
Okay, it's pretty crude.
Yeah.
Torin, eventually you catch up to the donkey, who still seems a little spooked. I'm going to need you to make me an animal handling check to coax it back into coming with you. Come here, saddlebags. Come here. Come here, saddlebags. Who's the good saddlebags?
Oops. I'm trying to roll in Twitch chat.
That happens a lot. It's surprising. Oh yeah, you get the donkey to eventually come over and nuzzle up against you, and it's fine.
Food.
Yeah, you get the whole party reconvenes in a few minutes.
With bow specialization, this is a random question, but with bow specialization, do I get 2 attacks per round?
You
Or one
always
and a
get
half?
2 attacks per round with the bow.
Okay.
All right. I would like to use my skill of appraising on the snakes.
All right, make me
Because
an appraisal
snake
check.
skin should have some value, so it's just a flat D20 plus intelligence.
Okay.
Roll 20. My intelligence is 14. Yeah.
That's right. I need to change Torin's stats.
Nice.
All right.
Good shit.
You take a good hard look at these snakes. It seems to you that the snake skin is probably not worth that much. The snakes aren't in, they've clearly been like stabbed through with some knives. The skin is pretty badly broken up in some areas. And snake skin is not worth all that much unless it's turned into something pretty nice. What you do notice is that these snakes are poisonous, and you have a feeling that there might be someone in town who might be willing to buy the snakes for their poison, maybe? Extracting snake poison is a difficult thing, or snake venom is a difficult thing. It's pretty easy to spill and have it just, like, get wasted. But the people who buy snake poison are sort of the same people that are difficult to trade with and deal with. And if you do manage to sell it to them, it's probably only going to be worth, like, 20 or 30 gold.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up the snakes and shake them and say, Uncle Radrick, found treasure.
Yes.
Snakes.
What treasure could those snakes possibly have?
No, you don't know. Venom.
Well,
the right people.
I don't know much about snakes, to be honest.
It's worth some gold. I've got 2 of them.
I'll take your word for it. Good job.
You guys are standing in the swamp in the extreme heat of the late summer. The water here gives everything a slightly cooler effect. And the humidity is up a little bit over here compared to the dryness of the open plains. You guys remember the last time that there was a good rainfall. The rains came in off the western coast and just dumped all of its, or the clouds that came in off the eastern coast and dumped all of its water down in the stinking marsh before it got to the meadowlands where the people need it. And as you're looking now, you can see storm clouds off in the distance over the ocean once again. You've gathered up together after your quick combat with these goblins. And what are your plans?
Well, we don't have a prisoner, but we did see where they were running towards, if that means anything.
It does make sense to perhaps enter the swamps here. We're looking for goblins and we have found some, so yes, that sounds good. And again, my apologies for not being able to capture that goblin. Although,
Yes, well,
can any of us speak its language?
Were we meant to be capturing them?
well, I thought it would have been nice to have captured one on the off chance that he could speak common, or at least give us some indication of where he lives. But now that I think about it, I doubt he spoke common.
They're hardly civilized.
Indeed.
Well, I guess we continue on, but my head...
Are any of the goblins still alive, Neil? Or are they all
No.
dead? Okay.
I mean, technically one of them might be not quite at -10 yet, but you would have to then, like, bring the goblin back somewhere and nurse it back to health for
Yeah,
days,
that's too
weeks.
much trouble.
Yeah.
Well, on the bright side, it hit me in the head, probably the only part of me which has taken the beating before.
Yeah. Not likely to mess up your good looks.
Yeah, that's the one. Although there's a drawing of me which has a good side and a bad side, so, you know.
All right. Where are you guys going? Headed into the swamp now?
Yeah, I guess we just go in the general direction that the goblins are running away. That's cool.
Yeah.
With everybody.
My character is kind of an OCD freak about cleanness. So when I walk up to the border of the swamp, I hesitate and it takes me a minute. I actually roll my pants legs up, not to get my pants dirty if possible.
You realize that that's how you get leeches on your legs.
Well, if I get leeches on my legs, then I'll deal with it.
Did any of us bring salt?
Salt?
No. Is it for destroying the leeches?
Yeah.
No, I don't think my character would have even known about that. But in reality, I think I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Well, we got dry
Guys.
ration. Surely that's salted.
With my short sword, I kind of move the water around in front of me as I'm walking through it as well.
right.
I'm gonna take out my arming sword and kind of like copy what Jonathan is doing, as if I know what I'm doing as well.
Actually, we've got the 10-foot pole. Should somebody take the front to make sure that we're probably not me, since I have 5 perception.
What about saddlebags?
I don't think saddlebags really can communicate whatever he perceives to us.
Oh yeah.
We have you with low perception, and then 2 people with 1 HP. So.
Well, I mean, I'm on 4 hit points anyway, so one shot will kill me as well. But it's irrelevant at first level, pretty much.
Maybe.
All right. Can I get perception checks from the party?
Oh, God. No black dragons. No black dragons.
All the black dragons.
No +2 this time.
No, just flat perception checks. 18, 25, 17, 22. All right.
I mean, I can't even notice the door, so, I'm stuffed.
You guys continue through the swamp.
Do we not perceive anything?
I will tell you when you perceive something, but no, for now there's no perception going on. You get a good few miles through the swamp when the sun begins to set behind the blackthorn forest. You're now maybe 2 miles into the swamp, maybe a mile into the swamp. You can barely see you can no longer see the River Grove far to the south, and the smell is awful around here. It's just atrocious.
So, question about my inspiring abilities being a bard, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
It says to grant the +1s and stuff that I have to know the exact nature of the threat.
Yeah.
With swamp dangers and possible goblins and stuff, would that be considered knowing the exact nature?
What do you mean?
We're walking through the swamp right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all very aware that this is a dangerous task and that anything could come out at any time. Could I use that crux?
No, because you got to know, you have to sing it. If you're going to fight goblins, you got to sing a song about, and the goblins were slain and killed. You can't do, and the swamp was taken, and then, a spider jumps out, and you're like, ah! You got to know, it's one of those things you have to be well prepared for.
Okay.
And the other thing, doesn't it take 3 rounds to do it, and it only lasts for 1 round at first level?
I think so. It's 1 round per level. So at first level, it's maybe not the most awesome thing, unless you have a situation where you know that we're about to walk through this door, and behind this door are the things we need. So let's get ready, guys.
Yeah. So pre-buff up.
Yeah. It's definitely the sort of thing that you do when you are prepared to go into a battle, not a spur of the moment sort of thing. All right. Anyway, the sun begins to set. What are you guys going to do about that?
Is it getting
I don't
so
think
dark
we do
where
very
there's
much
a
about
problem?
I'm sorry, I could only hear one person at a time. Roderick, try it again.
I was just wondering if it's getting so dark that vision's a problem.
Yeah,
Or
it's
if it's
that
not
dusk where it's really hard to see anything. But more importantly, it's going to be nighttime. Are you guys going to trudge through the night? Or are you guys going to make camp? Or are you guys going to just kill yourselves and give up?
I did get 3 torches, so...
Right. Each
We have
torch
those.
will burn for half an hour, I believe it says in the player's handbook.
That's not good.
I also have 5 torches.
Alright. So that's 8 torches, so you've got 4 hours of light if you need it. And just to get this out there, basically when you light a torch, it's going to burn till it's out, or the effect of putting it out will ruin the torch. So torches are single use only.
Yeah, I don't think we need to light the torch just for... I mean, we've got the campfire.
Yeah.
The other thing is at night, if you have a source of light, you get blind from the light. So you see less.
Yeah.
Obviously outside of the light's vision. So I think have them ready to go, but I don't think we'd be lighting the torches necessarily unless we know we need them. The other thing is at night, unless it's moonless, you can still see pretty well depending on the environment.
Yeah, I guess there's not that much tree cover in the marshes there.
Yeah, there's some, but not a lot. It is, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It is 5 days before the new moon, so it's just after the half moon, and
Right.
the moon is getting smaller. So there's some light, not a lot of light. What are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna make camp? You're gonna
Yeah, set a camp. As you set the camp, I'll walk around our camp and I will attempt to find traps.
right.
Sure.
You go around looking for traps. What's your detect traps percentage?
5%.
Nice. You detect no traps. Your camp is totally trap clear. Now, the bigger problem here is that there's not a lot of sections of dry ground. Do you guys have tents?
Yeah.
Do you have bedrolls?
I have
I have a
blanket,
bedroll.
blanket bedroll.
I have the bedroll.
I don't have a bedroll.
All right. So you're pretty much all going to need to find your own section of dry ground to sleep on. Luckily, 3 of you have your own bedrolls, so
I
it'll be
give my
comfortable.
bedroll to my little sister.
Oh, that's so sweet. Whoever doesn't have a bedroll is going to be pretty uncomfortable throughout the night. We won't necessarily have any penalties, but if you continue having these restless, sleepless nights, eventually there will be some side effects to it.
Well, I do have an idea.
I also
We
have a
will
blanket. I'll give my blanket to my brother.
Oh, you guys
I
are
have
such a
blanket.
good family.
I'm good.
We will need to set watches, so we could just have the person who's on watch leave their bedroll for the person who isn't.
Min-maxing blankets.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We're rationing our bedrolls.
It's clever. You only really do need 3 bedrolls for 4 people. I like the thinking, Radrick. All right. So who's going first, second, third, and fourth watch?
I'd like to take the last watch.
I'll take the. I'll take first if that's okay, because like I got cracked in the head, so I can't sleep because I got a concussion.
Okay, I'll do
Yeah, I
second.
guess. Yeah, and I'll take third.
Although with my low perception, that could be. I can't even see a door in a tavern, so you know.
Okay. Who was second? I'm sorry, I missed it.
I was.
You're okay. So Radrick, you're third. Amy, you're fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The night is warm. Very warm. It's like the days have been.
I had a few things I wanted to do on my watch. 2 things.
Sure. Give me
Nothing
just a sec
major.
to figure out what's going on and when, and then we'll do you guys in order of your watches. That would be... who has third watch?
I do.
All right. So Bradley, you have second watch, right?
Yes.
All right. What are you doing during your watch?
The first thing I do, I look up to the stars and I make an astrology check on my.
Didn't you just make an astrology check last session?
I did on the mother.
Oh, you did it on Mother. Oh, okay, cool. There you go. So the astrology check will tell you some vague event in the future. It's not guaranteed to come true, just a possibility of
Yeah.
something that could come true.
That could have been a healing proficiency.
Yeah.
Did you make a check already? Did I miss it? An 11. That is a failed astrology check. You get nothing out of the stars. You look at them and ponder your own meaning and existence in this world, but nothing comes to mind.
And then after pondering the stars, I had mentioned earlier that on the last page of my journal, I had begun scribbling down engineering things.
Yes? What are you engineering here?
Okay, so walking through the desert, my concern, or not desert, the swamp, my concerns that had led me to originally begin this engineering plan that I began working on when we first left, they were quickly confirmed. We came under fire by goblins, and if only we had some sort of type of wall shield protecting us, we would have been a lot more safe. So I imagine my character is working on a concept of like a tower shield wall that could be driven into the ground. So like no matter where you go, you can quickly like throw this wall up and knock a spike into the ground, and then you got full coverage, even if you're out on an open plain.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Raderick, give me a perception check, please.
Okay.
Fun times.
There we go.
Oh,
Baby.
beautiful.
I see everything.
Hey. Okay, so you're sitting here on your little patch of dry land. There's all these crickets and bullfrogs all over the swamp. The gross smell is pretty much gone. Olfactory regeneration has kicked in, and you can't even recognize the fetid smell of the swamp anymore. As you're sitting here, waiting, kind of relaxing, you begin to hear some slurping sort of sounds coming from the west. They're not that bothersome at first until you see this like shimmering off of the water in these ripples, and you spot a few figures moving through the swamp.
As soon as I can, I'm going to start kicking everybody to wake them up.
Your siblings and actually your nieces and nephews are all on other patches of dry land, so you're gonna have to move through the water to get to each one of them.
Yeah, I guess I will. All right, I'll go wake up Torin first.
All right. So you go start waking up your nieces and nephews. You wake up Torin without any problems. What do you say when you wake him up?
I say, there's something out there. Get ready.
What do you wake up next?
Somebody. Jonathan.
Right. Same thing. What do you say to him?
Yeah.
All right, and then Amy, same thing. All right, you guys all wake up. Raderick can correctly point out to you these figures moving through the dim light. They're maybe 150 yards from you, maybe 200 yards. It's hard to tell. And there's this kind of like the shimmering of the moon off of the swamp reflects onto these figures. There's a lot of them. They're moving kind of in a single file line. They're maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. It's hard to tell because they're partially in the water. You can't make out any more details than that. Just the kind of silhouettes of this line of figures slowly making their way through the swamp.
Okay, so when we wake up, are we able to all get together and close to speak?
If you want, but you got to stand in the water to do it.
So, seeing this, I imagine we obviously took off our armor before sleeping.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
My armor, and I get a little bit frustrated and hit the ground, and then I run over to Torin and help him put on his armor before I do my own.
Hey, how long does it take to get into armor? Characters. Armor that is made of separate pieces requires D6 plus 4, but you don't have like full plate. You just got the breastplate. So why don't we say?
You actually gave me a figure.
It was like a
D4 plus 3. Yeah, plus 2.
The D4 plus 2 is what we decided?
Yeah.
That sounds fair. Why don't you roll me a D4 plus 2 right now, Torin?
Nice.
All right.
Very nice.
So you guys begin to assemble Torin's armor.
Yeah.
All this is happening.
As you go help him with the armor, I'll go up to Jonathan and be like, with my crossbow out, say, should I fire some warning shots? Just pow, right in the head.
I think that's a good idea, little sister.
All right, I turn and shoot.
Hang on, that way.
Oh,
Before we don't know what they are. We don't know if they are goblins, and how many of them are there?
Radek, you did roll like a 31, right?
Yeah, natural 20.
All right, so they're moving in a single file line, so only so many of them you can see at a time because they're silhouetted off that section. So you have counted 10, but they've moved out of that section of light, and now they're just like shadowy figures off to the side. You're thinking 10 to 15. It's a lot of them.
As I'm helping Torin put on his armor, am I able to multitask and tell an inspiring story?
Yes. Yes, you are. Which takes 3 rounds to do, and it takes 3 rounds for Torin to get into his armor. Huh, look at that.
Yeah.
That is a touching moment, brother.
Okay.
While this is happening, I just have my bow at the ready. In case.
I believe that the pluses will be given to the entire party.
Yes. And you can give a +1 to attack rolls or to saving throws. What are you going to do?
+1 to attack rolls.
All right, and it lasts for only the first round. So, Torin's getting his armor on. You're telling everyone a tale. What is the tale that you're telling people? What are you using to inspire your family?
I imagine there was a story of our founder, Thena, in a time that her party was ambushed by goblins. Now her spirit is with us, and we will fight in her honor and slay goblins just as she did.
Right. Story of Grandma Athena. As Torin's armor is put on, Raderick, you're not putting on any armor?
I assume I had it on since I was on watch.
Oh, that's true. Good call. All right, so we are going to take our break as everyone's armor is on except for Jonathan's.
And I don't have armor.
You don't have armor, so you can't put any on. We will be back on the other side of our break with whatever is about to happen. See you guys soon.